Hey you guys, I know I've been MIA a little bit the last couple weeks or so. I just wanted to give you a quick update. May felt like my life was put into a blender just because there was too much going on and I couldn't keep up with anything. So at the end of May, I had a little bit of a breakdown because of that. And I spent the last week recovering. And I'm getting ready to, start posting my weekly readings, and I have some twin flame talks I want to record and stuff like that. So that's all. I didn't mean to disappear on you, but damn, I was going to say something else. The past week recovering, I realized that sometimes for someone like me, ... By someone like me, I mean somebody who might have OCD, or for some, I don't think I'm neurodivergent, but maybe someone who is neurodivergent as well, or just has some like mental things. Just spit on myself. Where like you need organization to, honestly, this is what I arrived at. I'm not sure what I would have called it before, but you need it to feel grounded and centered. Like, don't feel bad about that, because I have spent the last 24 hours just simply doing things to get myself organized again, catching up on things that got way behind. And what a difference. My brain feels so much better. I have felt like maybe spirit has been working on me to try to break my OCD and some of that stuff, because there's a guilt factor that goes along with it. Like when I spend the time on doing something for organizing purposes, I feel guilty about the other things that I'm not getting done, like whether it's readings or honestly something that would be in a more important category, but my brain just needs this. I need it to feel centered and to feel a sense of stability. And maybe that's a control thing. I recognize that, and that's why I think spirit's breaking it, because that's one of the things that we're taught in the twin flame journey, to let go of control. But oh my gosh, it just makes a difference. Literally, as I'm saying that, I'm thinking to myself, maybe spirit's still gonna keep making me break that. But I don't know. You know how they say that you shouldn't have a cluttered home because it affects you a certain way mentally, and maybe even emotionally? That's how I feel about this. This is what this made me realize. My home is fine. I actually don't care all that much if it's a little disheveled, but my brain feels better from being organized, catching up with admin work and things like that. And maybe the key is actually in just not feeling guilty about it when I need to take the time, because I just need to. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing, and my brain feels so much better. And I'll get back to the next stuff. By the next stuff, I mean the next stuff on the list of important tasks that need to be done, that people might be waiting on me for. And yeah, I'm just slowly getting there, slowly catching up. The good news is that life is returning to normal. A big reason why May was crazy for me was because I had family in town for the majority of the month, and I was so frustrated with it, because it's one of those things where you might not be going on vacation, but if somebody else comes to you on their vacation, it almost forces you to take a time out as well. And it's such a double-edged sword, because on one hand, you're spending time with people you don't normally get to see, but it's also taking away from your productivity. And I'm trying not to feel guilty about that either. But anyway, that's done. Life is going back to normal. So I'm hoping to get back into the routine now. Oh, and the last thing that I wanted to say, I have been using the reshare tool, whatever the heck it's called. I can't think right now. On Instagram, I've been resharing a bunch of reels, I should say, or posts about pregnancy past the age of 40. And I've been resharing them because that is one of the biggest questions that I get from clients all the time, from Divine Feminines, about, the twin flame journey. You tend to be older before you meet your twin and end up in union, and they're worried about being able to have kids. So I've been sharing a lot of those because I truly believe, from what Spirit has told me, that it doesn't matter. Like, if you are meant to have a child, that child is coming. Your age doesn't matter, especially for twin flames. So these stories are highly impactful for that. Some of them might also be even giving advice on things that you can do to help with pregnancy past the age of 40. One of them's even, she talks about having her third child after the age of 50. And you know what? I was at my own doctor appointment last year, I want to say, and they told me that they have a patient that naturally conceived, I want to say in her mid to even late 50s, naturally, by accident. Like, she and her husband assumed that she couldn't get pregnant anymore. And I just love that. And I love those stories because of the reassurance for Divine Feminines. Like, trust me, like, if you have a baby that's meant to come in the world, that baby's coming. And I have witnessed miracles around pregnancy and conception and childbirth as well. So I've been resharing those stories to help inspire you guys and give you faith. Hey, you guys, I want to explain something real quick that I realized this afternoon might be helpful for some of you. I was talking about my OCD last night, and a friend mentioned to me that she didn't think that, like, the house tidiness is OCD. And that, like, by itself isn't. But I learned in adulthood that there's more to OCD than what you might think. Like, I never thought that I had it when I was younger. My mom would refer to OCD personality, which I think was considered a thing at one point in time. Now I can't even find that. And now I think it's more so considered on a spectrum, like many things these days. And I had a friend just telling me about what her therapist had told her about her own behaviors that made me realize, oh my gosh, I have OCD. And I didn't. Now, I will say that I didn't get a technical diagnosis from someone, but what she told me that her therapist had told her, it just clicked. I just knew it. And I do recognize the, like, compulsive and obsessive behaviors that I do. And I recognize that they are coping mechanisms as well. And actually, the twin flame journey and the spiritual warfare journey, it kind of highlighted them for me. Like, when I was more stressed about whatever, those behaviors would increase. And it did get to a point where it was starting to disrupt my life at times too. And I realized, and I put the pieces of the puzzle together. And that's why I'm sharing this with you, because some of you might not realize that you have it and you're doing similar things. The biggest thing is that most people think that it's like, you're a germaphobe, or you have to turn the lights on and off a certain number of times. Hold on. Or that you, like, can't step on a crack or something like that, But those are just extreme examples of OCD. That movie with Jack Nicholson, those are extreme examples of OCD. And so if it's on a spectrum, then that's like the high end of the spectrum, right? But for me, it's not stuff like that at all. Like, not at all. For me, with my friend, it was something, I don't remember, it was a while ago, but I remember there was something with her pens. And I do actually have something like that too, where I have to use, like, literally, so I have to, like, print out my schedule each week. I have to be able to write on it and cross things out. And I, like, have specific colors for specific types of activities. Like, everything's color coded, and, like, I'm very regimented about that. Like, it would bother me to not. So there's, one kind of example. But more so what I'm thinking of is, like,
having to go through a specific pattern or routine is kind of the right word, but not exactly, like a routine for me, of like a certain behavior. It's not something that would be like obvious or necessarily apply to everyone. But something that could apply to the twin flame journey, I don't do this anymore, but years ago when I was in a much worse place and also dealing with a lot of spiritual warfare, I had to, like, if I started scrolling like Instagram, I had to keep track and make sure that I didn't miss anything as in my newsfeed as I was scrolling, and keep track of like every like sign or reading or whatever that I felt applied to me. And like I had to do it. Like I couldn't, if I got interrupted, it would bother me that I like got interrupted in the middle and like missed a section or something like that. And I have to go find it. I would have to go find that section. And that was like one of the times where it was actually being disruptive in my life as well, because it would like disrupt work or even just like spending time with friends, because like maybe I start messing around on my phone and then I get distracted with that, like I said, I stopped doing that a long time ago. But I know there's a lot of people who do get obsessive about signs, and that's why I use that example. That was one of the times that made me realize though, and made me like take steps to lessen some of those things. And there's other things too, like whether it's like picking at something on my, like I pick at my nails really badly. And oh my gosh, now I can't think. Well, what I was doing yesterday was like I needed to get my digital life organized. Now that wasn't necessarily super OCD specifically, because I think that probably most people need it to be organized to some extent, because then you lose track of things, right? Like I literally had not had time to even look at my emails in 3 weeks. So yeah, I needed to get that organized. So it was probably not the right terminology to say OCD in reference to that. But for me in general, like organization is extremely important. And that's more what I meant when I said like it calms my brain. And it made me realize that literally grounds me and centers me and calms my brain. Like I have to be organized to feel like I'm getting off on the right foot, like each day, like every day. Like I have to like go through my schedule, like I said, and like organize my day. And like I can't move forward doing anything else until I do that. Like it bugs me. It bugs me to the point that it distracts me even. So anyway, like now I'm having trouble remembering other examples. There are other examples, but I just can't think of them all right now. But the main thing is that any behavior, it can literally be anything. It can be the simplest thing. Like I told you, like scrolling on Instagram at one point in time. Gosh, I wish I could remember more spiritual examples too. But anyway, it can be any little tiny behavior, big or small, I should say, that is just something that you feel the need to do and do repeatedly. And it's a coping mechanism for stress, essentially. So, and the stress can be coming from anywhere too. And like I said, my stress from the twin flame journey and from my spiritual warfare journey was what caused an increase in those behaviors that made me realize that I have it. So I just wanted to point this out for you guys, because some of you may have this and not even realize it. So I hope this helps someone.